noise. The noise that like single-handedly made like it is the sound that everyone wants. And also probably the song, like the sound that I could do that you could put in the next like Fast and the Furious scene, which would be like whoopsh, and then whoopsh, whoopsh. I think those are all actually pretty terrible. But those little two scrolly boys, it's like everything, it makes you feel like you need to living your life a quarter mile at a time. Or maybe you prefer like a little supercharger action because muscle, you know? Regardless on which way you swing it, the moment you pick up a boosted car of any kind, you're almost always going to do the same things that about pretty much everyone has done to or with their boosted car, because it's just what you do with the boosted car. It's just like the things that everyone must have one time in their life, like a college experience, and never do it again. I'm Alex, Alex.fi on Instagram, and today we're gonna be talking about 5 things every single boosted car owner has done at least one time in their life. No shame.
Let's go.
By the way, if you appreciate bad jokes, great lighting, and the occasional thought in your head of what did he actually just relate that to, be sure to subscribe so you can keep on all the lovely things we do here. And if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension, be sure to hit us up at fitmentindustries.com, where we've got it all, because it's pretty much what we actually do, and we kind of have a few wheels. Even got them on a wall. It's a very heavy wall. It'd be a shame if that were to come down. When you finally picked up a boosted car, there's absolutely no way in hell that you didn't immediately go to the World Wide Web, enter in your year, your make, your model, right, your trim, and enter it with a few words at the end called
blow-off valve.
It's a thing, because we all know that there's one tunnel in your hometown that you want to roll through and slam through gears, only to let off to hear the lovely, like, admit it.
Look me in the eyes
And tell me that ain't true. But it is true, because nearly every boosted car owner will try to find a way to invest in a blow-off valve because it just sounds so damn good. And you can't really go wrong with it unless your car isn't supposed to or can't handle a blow-off valve, which in that case, I'm just sorry. But here's where it can get a bit dangerous, because can you guess what's usually right next to the good old blow-off valve location in your engine bay? A spot for a manual boost controller. You know you've thought about it. After all, we've got a boosted car now, bud. Anything is possible. How neat would it be to say that you're running 30 pounds of boost?
Who cares?
Because you're gonna do it for fun, and then you're definitely gonna turn it down afterwards because you only wanted to see if it would work. No, you're never gonna turn it down. Not everyone is like this, because some people choose to keep the internals of their car inside the motor for more than 300 miles. But nearly every boosted car owner will end up playing with boost pressure in some way, both in a bad way or in a good way. Some cars come under boosted for insurance and liability purposes, while others come over boosted because those little tiny efficient motors need all the horsepower and help they can get. But the tricky bit will always be to do it the right way, and sometimes a more expensive way, which is kind of sort of unfortunate. But when people want to try doing their boosted car right, they say the words that make angels cry and enthusiasts irate. It makes the Facebook forums blow up. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. It's called staging. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 6, I don't even know anymore, but either way, they tune their car because it's what you do when you own a boosted car. It's just, you've gotta, and here's why, and then they call it staging. It's stage 1, stage 2 tune. I got the stage 2 tune plus on my Subaru STI. I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. Just like how we talked about before, a ton of boosted cars come under boosted for reliability, insurance, and to keep those good old warranties in check. So what should a proper enthusiast do when they pick up a boosted car? Ruin all of that. because that's lame, all right? Tunes can open up the good old boost pressure, timing, and some other really good stuff to get some extra power with just really much just a flip of a switch. And everyone does it because it makes the car faster and way more fun. Audi A6 C5 platform goes up 100 horsepower and like 130 foot-pounds of torque with an APR capable. And after all, under boosting cars are for wieners. Now, once a boosted car guy or gal has ended up throwing the old blow-off valve on, has ended up purchasing the good old classic APR tune, or just maybe snagged a manual boost controller for just a little bit of fun, but then it's time to go do a pull. Then another one, then another one. And then when you wake up, when you go to brush your teeth, when you go to school, when you leave school, when you go to work, in between work, when you go on the breaks, when you go and you want to do it pretty much at every possible turn, nook, stop sign, yield sign imaginable, because everything is now a race. Anything that has more than like 20-ish feet of asphalt, you have to, because it's a boosted car and it's what boosted car owners do. Why else would you own a car that has a fun pull once boost actually builds up? Not me, because having a boosted car is fun and you just have to beat on it a little bit. And that ends up going into the last thing that every boosted car owner does, because guess what? There's so much more you can do to the car. It doesn't matter if you have a Ford Fusion or a Buick Verano. I mean, a boosted car is a boosted car. There's manual boost controllers for everything, blow-off valves for everything else, and tunes for almost every single platform, because the World Wide Web has made it so easy to pretty much modify anything. So you would just continue to modify it. After all, it is boosted. So then they pick up the air intake, aftermarket exhaust, they go over and they decide to get their aftermarket wheels, tires, and suspension from FitmentIndustries.com because they love Alex and tolerate Dakota. And it's just what you do. You get the wings, you get the aero, you get the tinted windows, and you get all of that stuff because it's just what you do, because now you have a boosted car. Owning a boosted car for many people, regardless of the make or model, is what ultimately plants the bug that makes people modify pretty much everything about their car. And it's ultimately why you see so many different builds out there on the road, because even though it's a little bit silly, that little T on the back of the trunk or the supercharged on the side of the Audi is what convinces a ton of people to pick up a car that they've never owned before, because they want to give it a shot. And they figured that if they're going to start with something new, they'd want to start with something that's fast, and they associate fast with turbos and superchargers. So that's just what boosted car owners do. So if you own a boosted car, what's the one thing you do every single time you jump in the car, every single time you pick one up? Let us know, because hey, Eric needs comments to reply to, and I like to scroll through them when I'm having my ramen. If you haven't yet, press that little red button so you subscribe, and hit the bell button so you can keep making videos like this. And hopefully, if there's ever a poor soul that ends up needing wheels, tires, or suspension, you can go on over to FitmentIndustries.com, where we've got it all. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries, and we will see you later. Peace.